Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast on saving money on a Carnival Cruise vacation. In this podcast, I'm hoping to share with you things I've learned over the years that have helped me and my family save money when either booking a Carnival Cruise vacation or while enjoying our onboard experience. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments at any time by leaving them in the YouTube chat below. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my tips and advice with you, but please know that this is not every single possible way for you to save money on your Carnival Cruise vacation. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you find some of this information useful. When you're looking to book your Carnival Cruise, I highly encourage you to check for offers. If you're on a desktop or a laptop or even a tablet, at the very top of Carnival's website, there will be a thing that says today's deals. If you're signed into your VIFP account, it'll show deals that are applicable to you. Another way to check for deals is when you're in the booking engine and selecting dates or looking at a particular ship, there will be a drop down where you can select if you're 55 plus years of age, you can input your state of residency, and you can check if you're a military member. These different categories will make you eligible for deals if there's a deal being run for a particular category. For example, if there's a Florida residence sale or a California residence sale, and that's your state of residency, and you have that selected, it would bring up a deal. Not all states have a state of residency deal being run at a particular time, but entering that will show one if there is one currently going. Another common type of offer is for past guests. If you're signed into your VIFP account on Carnival's website and you're a past guest, and you go to the top where it says today's deals, you can usually see if there's a past guest offer available to you there. One of the more common types is a welcome home offer, which is usually sent to people shortly after they've returned home from a cruise. Sometimes the deal is really good, and other times the deal may be good, but there may be another deal out there that's better. So I just highly encourage you to check what's out there and compare the deals that are available to you. I highly encourage you to compare prices between different Carnival Cruise lengths, itineraries, and ships, especially if the home port that you're looking to cruise out of has multiple options. Sometimes, and this is very rare, sometimes a 5-day cruise could be cheaper than a 4-day cruise. It just all depends on the supply and demand and capacity available on particular voyages. I highly encourage you, if your dates are flexible, that you look at different options from the home port around the time of year that you're looking to go, just because you might be able to get a better deal by going 1 or 2 weeks later than the date that you're originally looking at. If you have flexibility to cruise at any time of the year, I highly encourage you to price going at different times of the year. As a general rule of thumb, when kids are in school, this is when you can get prices that are a little bit cheaper. Typically, prices are a little bit higher whenever it's the summertime, spring break, Christmas holidays, or Thanksgiving holidays, because these are times of the year when kids are out of school and families will commonly go on a cruise. With that being said, that doesn't mean prices are going to be cheaper when kids are in school, always, but as a general rule of thumb, you can usually save a little bit of money during off-peak times as kids are in school. The type of room you select for your Carnival cruise will be one of the largest factors that determines what your total cruise fare to get on board is going to be. Typically, Carnival has different cruise categories that are interior, ocean view, balcony, or suites. Depending on the ship, there may be some subclasses within there, but as a general rule of thumb, there's 4 classes of rooms that Carnival has. Typically, interiors are the cheapest because they're many in number on board and don't offer a view outside. However, interiors are not always the cheapest type of room, so whenever you've narrowed down what ship and sailing date that you want to go on, I highly encourage you to look at the different rooms available and see which one is cheapest. Sometimes it could be an ocean view, depending on the supply and demand of rooms on your sailing that are still open for booking. As you're booking your cruise, you may see an option for a room that's a little bit cheaper called a guarantee stateroom. What this means is that you're booking a room at a certain category, but you're not actually selecting the exact room that you get. Close to the time of your sailing, Carnival will go through and assign the people in a guarantee stateroom to their actual stateroom. You may find this out a few weeks before sailing or even up to the morning of. It just depends on Carnival's assignment. If this is cheaper and you're taking this option, I encourage you just to take a second and keep a few things in mind. There's a chance you could get a room with an obstructed view. especially if you've booked a guarantee ocean view room or a guarantee balcony. You don't, since you're not picking your location, you can't research any of these things in advance. However, the guarantee room can save you money. So if you do take this option, I just encourage you to know that there is a little bit of risk with it. However, if you get a good room and it was cheaper, well, then the reward has panned out. Typically, selecting your own stateroom is not too much more money. So if you're someone who wants to be able to research what's above or below a room, I highly encourage you to just go ahead and pay a little bit more so that way you can pick the exact stateroom that you want. Once you've booked your cruise and have access to your booking manager through Carnival's website, there's going to be so many different things for sale. You'll see opportunities to purchase shore excursions, purchase internet, and buy things from Carnival's shops before the cruise. If you're planning on using the internet during your Carnival cruise, I highly encourage you to purchase it before your cruise, as you can usually save a little bit of money. While the absolute cheapest way when going on a vacation is to not pay for Carnival's internet and just not use internet at all and keep your phone on airplane mode, I know that this isn't feasible for everyone. So if you do know that you're going to be wanting to use Carnival's internet out there, I encourage you to just go ahead and pay for it before the cruise in order to save some money because it is a little bit more expensive on board. If you're planning on buying the Cheers alcoholic beverage package, I highly encourage that you buy it before your cruise. This is because Carnival offers it online a little bit cheaper compared to buying it on the first day on board. Keep in mind that if you are purchasing Cheers, that everyone in the stateroom that is 21 or older will have to buy the package, even if the other person does not drink alcohol or cannot drink alcohol. Carnival is usually very strict by requiring everyone 21 and up in the stateroom to buy the package, even if only one person wants it. Bottomless bubbles is another type of package Carnival has and sells before the cruise that you can also save some money on if you book ahead. Bottomless bubbles include sodas and some juices and a couple of other things, and you can usually save a little bit of money by booking this before the cruise. One way guests going on a Carnival cruise typically save some money is to bring their own non-alcoholic drinks on board. Typically, Carnival will allow a small quantity of non-alcoholic drinks to be brought in carry-on bags. This usually includes sodas or water that is canned or in a carton. Bottled water and bottled soda are strictly prohibited according to Carnival's website. If you're not planning on drinking too much soda, I highly encourage you to save some money and buy your own soda before going on the cruise. Just put the cans in your carry-on bags and you should be able to bring it to your room and keep it there stored. And if you need ice, you can get ice from your stateroom steward when they come service your room every day. You just have to ask. As a general rule of thumb, Carnival prohibits bringing alcohol on board, even if it's in your carry-on luggage. However, one exception is that Carnival allows guests to bring one 750 milliliter bottle of sealed and unopened wine or champagne per person in their carry-on bags. So if you're planning on drinking some wine or champagne, I do recommend that you buy it yourself before the cruise and pack it in your carry-on luggage. My other recommendation is to check Carnival's website to read the exact terms and conditions of this, because Carnival does have some fortified wine brands listed out that cannot be brought on board. If you do bring alcohol or any kind of drink on board that is prohibited, it will get confiscated, and then you run the risk of it either getting thrown away or you'll be asked to come pick it up at the very end of the cruise on the last morning. On your Carnival cruise ship, there should be so many different things to eat and drink throughout the cruise. Room service is typically not free. It used to be, but nowadays it's not unless you're eating it at breakfast, where there's a few items on there that are available for free. If you're hungry and food is open somewhere on the ship, I highly encourage you to go to that spot to eat. You may have to wait in a little bit of a line, but it will save you a little bit of money by not ordering room service. If room service is the only thing available and you're really hungry, well then by all means, get it. But just know if it's another time of the day, you can save some money by going and getting food yourself. If you're planning to eat in the main dining room at dinner, just know that for entrees, you can get 2 free entrees every single night of the cruise. However, if you want a third entree or even more than that, Carnival will start charging you per entree. As of the time of recording this, they charge us $5 per entree. If you eat 2 entrees and are still hungry in the main dining room, you can get another appetizer for free. Or another option would be to go to the ship's buffet after leaving the main dining room as up there you can get various food items without having to pay anything for them. Throughout your Carnival cruise, there will usually be Carnival photographers with various backdrops taking pictures of guests. The work the photographers do can turn out really nice, and they have really nice cameras and backdrops, but the pictures can be expensive. If you're planning on using Carnival's photographers to take pictures of you and the people you're traveling with, I highly encourage you to look at some of the different photo packages that the Pixels Photo Gallery on board is offering. Usually these packages offer ways to bundle and save. If you're looking to go really cheap and not pay for any of the shipboard photography, I just encourage you to keep your cell phone or your digital camera with you, and maybe when you find a spot to get a good picture, just take a picture there and you'll have your photo right away without paying anything extra for it. The easiest way to save money on your Carnival cruise vacation is to not actually spend any extra money once you get on board. There are so many different things to eat, see, and do on board without having to spend an extra dollar. I highly encourage you to use your Carnival Hub app or Fun Times onboard daily activity newsletter to look for things that are free or may even be available at a very cheap rate. There's a lot to do on board, so by using these tools, you can keep organized with your plans for the day, but also keep watch on what the prices of different things or meals would be if you wanted to do something. Don't be afraid to spend money on board. Just make sure you stick to your budget and don't spend more than you can afford on your vacation budget. There's a lot more I could get into when it comes to saving money and maximizing your Carnival cruise vacation experience, but I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast on saving money on your Carnival cruise vacation. I hope you found some of this information useful, and please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It would be fun to have you along for this cruise YouTube journey. Have a great day and see you soon.